Meanwhile, Uganda is right now lit in a different way. It's lit up in a mighty blaze of anger directed towards sexual minorities. You might have heard about the Anti Homosexuality Bill that's being discussed in the parliament. The speaker adamant that it has to be passed. Where is all of this coming from? Possibly from recent controversy surrounding allegations of sodomy in schools and so forth. But anyway, so what's the latest development on this? So the government has issued the financial implication on the Anti-Homosexuality Bill, despite pressure from the donor community. And this is what the government said. This is to certify that the Anti Homosexuality Bill 2023 has been reviewed in accordance with Section 76 of the Public Finance and Management Act 2015 as amended. This from a statement issued by the government. The donors are putting pressure, but the government is still going forward with this. The government is comprehensively criminalizing the activities that promote homosexuality in the country and are laying down stringent requirements for registration of civil society organizations in the country. Now, some of the NGOs that provide the biggest funding to the country are believed to be promoters of LGBT activities in the country. And so the government's coming hard on this and making it known that they are not backing down. Is this a fight you think they can win, especially against the donors?
Actually, I have a feeling that the donors might win this fight. They don't have to make statements in the newspapers, but at the end of the day, they control, they pay the piper, so they control the tune. And government is just making so much noise about this, but at the end of the day, I feel like this is quality time that has been taken away from other other urgent issues that are affecting Ugandans. So yes, Ugandans don't want the issue of homosexuality, but the time we have given it, is it really worth it? Every person, every politician, even the ones you've never heard of, are now jumping to this to get their 5 minutes of fame. And one wonders, is this the biggest problem the country has?
Probably not. Actually, certainly not. But I'll say this. I actually agree that these NGOs promote homosexuality, and if by that the government means like putting it out there, raising a fuss about sexual minorities and sort of making it a big deal and plastering it everywhere and giving funds to activist groups and other sub-organizations within the country to mobilize and to discuss their LGBT issues, that they are certainly doing. There's no dispute. But as to whether or not you may want to criminalize such behavior or to penalize it is where I would disagree. After all, I do believe in freedom of speech, and I believe that speech you disagree with should be countered with your speech. So if certain people are doing things you don't agree with, for example, fornication is not a criminal offense, and yet from a religious standpoint, it's a sin, right?
And we are looking at homosexuality from a religious standpoint.
Right. So it just like anyone can say, fornication is wrong. Wait till marriage before you have sex. And I condemn the artists who are twerking on television and dancing on videos. Please, parents, don't allow your children to watch it. You can do that. While on the other hand, the artists are busy twerking on TV, as it is their right to do so, without you really impeding on anyone's rights. So I would be against the criminalization of what they are claiming as the advocacy of it.
But there are parts of homosexuality that honestly need to be criminalized. For instance, if you're a school teaching our children and you are putting in your library material that is teaching children about homosexuality, making it okay, telling them how it is okay for them to feel that they were born in the wrong body, yet at home we are trying to pass on different values. I feel like if a school is found guilty of that, then there has to be consequences. But consensual adults, how are you going to control that?
But it need not be a criminal consequence. So, for example,
it is.
For example, the Ministry of Education, the government through the Ministry of Education can issue some sort of dictate that school subjects related to these topics may not be taught in our schools, and if it is found that you are teaching these things, you'll be stripped of your license.
That is still kind of criminal in a way.
Not really. Criminal means you go to jail.
Okay, but when they take away your license and you cannot run a business, then that is huge.
Okay, but I would rather that than to to do the criminal route of where you send people to jail. And really, it's for society.
And they can still be sent to jail if they are found to be literally training the children. Because you see, homosexuality has gone away from adults because some of you are set in your ways. Maybe you're heterosexuals, you like people of the opposite gender, so you may not be easy to turn around. So now it is the torch is facing our children. The torch is about recruitment. Go to universities, go to high schools. That's where the recruitment is happening. And I'm of the view that needs to be moderated.
The recruitment is happening.
Supervised.
Trust me, the recruitment is happening at home on your TV.
No, there is that.
Discussed.
I don't disagree. There is that. But also, I've seen more and more parents saying that they found books in school libraries that are geared towards teaching children about homosexuality. First of all, there is a level where children should not be even taught about sex. I saw a parent, okay, it wasn't in Uganda, but this parent found books in a certain school where her 8-year-old child goes, and some of them were teaching children about oral sex, how it is done. Why should we have such material in school libraries? It shouldn't be there.
Yeah, and that is why under the guidance from the Ministry of Education, all schools should be required to adhere to certain curriculums and to not teach subjects that they have not been authorized to. But anyway,
and the law is going to, try to have all of that, include all of that.
Okay. Now, obviously, the government wants to use this as an opportunity to distract from other bigger scandals.
That's true.
I think it's funny how, in principle, you could even be in favor of this law while at the same time acknowledging a more cynical aspect to the focus on this at this point, where you have ministers and the Iron Sheet scandal ongoing and many others.
And no one is resigning.
No one is.
Parliament recommended that the Minister for Gender and Economic and Social Development, who supervises a National Social Security Fund, they recommended that she resigns, and that the CEO, that is Byarugaba, and his deputy should be also. They should be prosecuted. None of that is happening. We don't know if it's going to happen, but we have our minds cast onto the homosexuality bill. And, they waste all this money, taxpayers' money and time discussing something that they may actually not even pass. So what's the point?
All right. Well, in case you want to know some of the organizations and the NGOs that are, according to the government, suspected to be involved in financing these activities. They include donor agencies such as the GIZ, American Jewish Service. What?
What?
USAID, Open Society Initiative for East Africa, the American Embassy, Tides Foundation, and Oxfam.
And all of these inject billions of dollars into our economy. So do you see them losing? That
is true. And actually, we've worked with a few of these.
Yes.
But my point is, they also fund activities that are not related to LGBT. So USAID, for example, contributes. And I think USAID must be one of the largest donors.
That's true.
We have Oxfam to American Embassy, certainly.
Even GIZ.
And GIZ.
All of these are big. They're big. They inject so much money in the Ugandan economy, into the Ugandan economy.
So if all of them decide to pull out their general funding in retaliation to this law being proposed, then we might find ourselves stuck.
I know.
And
it's for that reason that this law may not pass.